In 90 minutes' time, we're about to find out the winners of the 2022 Sustainability Competition in Travel Competition. I'm delighted to be here with you to moderate this year's event. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching or you're watching a replay, please leave a comment wherever you're watching to say where you're from. We'll be able to take certain questions and certain comments in this little band across the screen below me here. My name is Kevin O'Shaughnessy. I'm joining you here from Dublin. We have contestants from around the world. We have over 130 different applications that made it through to this year's competition. And today, in 2 tracks, we're going to pick out the winners of all of those different entrants. We have a lot of work to do today. We've got 90 full minutes of content to get you through, during which time we'll hear from 10 different entrepreneurship projects in 2 tracks. One is for what we call the launch track. These are early stage projects, and one is the growth tracks for, organizations that have been around for a while, that kind of know what they're doing, that have tested their model and that are now ready to scale it further. So we'll be hearing in 2 batches from each of these 2 different streams. As an audience on the live stream, you've got a hard job to do here. You have to pick out the audience favorite from each of these tracks. Who will be the winner of the launch track and who will be the winner of the growth track from an audience perspective? But for the overall competition, we've brought on an extensive jury to help us through the choice today. And what's happening is, in this competition, we have 2 tracks. We've got the live track, we've got the launch track and the growth track. Each of those will have a video pitch followed by some Q&A from one of the jury members to help us understand a little bit more about what is going on in the project and what we might want to know from an audience perspective, but what the other jurors might want to know as well. We'll introduce you to the jury and all of the contestants in a number of minutes, but I think I've got everything that I want to say here except for one other thing. So we've got the main award to cover. That's what we're choosing today with our jury. We've got the audience favorites. That's what I'd like you to do. In just a few moments, we'll be telling you a little bit about that after our first round of pitches. But also we have a special prize this year from Streets International, and we'll hear a little bit more from Neil and that organization later on today. None of this would have been possible, of course, without our sponsors. We want to talk to you about those in a little bit as well. We're supported by the great folk at TUI Foundation, Travel Massive, and other organizations. We'll introduce them all shortly. Before I go any further, what I want to do is to introduce another founder. I am part of a travel and other startups here in Dublin, but a founder that I'd like you all to meet is Claudia Brutze from Eberswalde University, so a few miles northeast of Berlin. Claudia, can you hear me, and can you join me, please?
Yeah, hello. Thanks for this introduction, Kevin. And I'm very happy to welcome all of you here from Berlin for our 4th award ceremony of the Social Entrepreneurship Competition in Tourism. And first of all, I want to thank the whole team behind this competition who makes this really going ahead. Maria, Lucas, Lydia, the whole jury members, you will meet most of them today, and also our mentors who worked hardly in the last weeks to get the initiatives forward. And now I want to invite also Manuel on stage. He is here today for the TUI Care Foundation. Hello, Manuel.
Hello,
and the TUI Care Foundation is our main supporter, and I'm very happy that you are here with us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Claudia. It's such a pleasure for us to be represented here. Hi, everyone. My name is Manuel. I'm a programs manager. Greetings from London. So yet another city for this mix, this international mix in this presentation. It is always a pleasure for us at the TUI Care Foundation to support these programs in entrepreneurship. It has really been one of the driving focuses for us in these past 2 years. So we're really excited to be here and be able to support the creation of social innovation in tourism. I guess we can start things off by giving everyone here with an overview of the Social Entrepreneurship Competition in Tourism. So this is, of course, the first competition with a focus on social innovation and entrepreneurship in tourism worldwide. Founded back in 2019 by Professor Claudia Brutze, who we have present, of course, Personally, from our side, it's such a pleasure working with Professor Claudia. We've done it before, back when we were doing the tourism recovery program, where we were supporting 565 small and medium enterprises in tourism over 7 holiday destinations. And of course, Professor Claudia was helping us behind the Berlin landing pad, where we invited 15 of our top performing businesses. And we had a pitching event, which is very close to what's happening today, as we are discovering who are the winners of the social entrepreneurship competition. Of course, this project involves different industry partners who bring in competencies in business development, responsible entrepreneurship, and of course, business training. And prizes, as you will find out, for the winners come in the form of public relations, of coaching, mentoring, financial support, of course, which is always important for new businesses, and in terms of reach, also through media exposure, through the social media platforms of the different partners, which also helps you to gain visibility across different markets. And moving on to the structure, so we had the kickoff of the project in June. We have collected in total 131 applications from 50 countries. I had the pleasure of also being a part of the team of experts that reviewed all these applications. It was really wonderful to see so many ideas being brought forward. We, of course, had to evaluate, and unfortunately, we could only get to 25 shortlisted ideas and 10 finalists. And that's when the mentoring phase started. So for the mentoring and coaching phase, we had 8 weeks of one-to-one and peer-to-peer coaching. Finally, we get to the pitch competition and award ceremony, which is what is bringing us all together today.
Yeah, now it's up to me to present some numbers. Of course, we did a great survey, a deep survey, and I would only share some numbers. 200 applicants started, but only 131 submitted. This means to all of you who are listening at the moment, it would be great to just finish your application, because it is worth taking it. So 25 shortlisted, 10 finalists, we already heard that. But if you look at the map, you can see that we are really worldwide with our project countries. Since the first day in 2019, we know that social entrepreneurship is really a female thing, and we are really happy that this year we had 51.3% female applicants. This means that the person who sent us the application is a woman, or the founder of the initiative is a woman, and we can really support female entrepreneurship here with this platform. We ask the applicants about the SDGs they are contributing in. And this year in 2020, the most important SDGs for the applicants have been decent work and economic growth, sustainable cities and communities. We also read that the last years, but this year is the first year that the goal partnership for the goals has a really good relevance. And this is an interesting thing for all of us to think more about the partnerships to realize the goals. If we go a little bit more deeper, we did a qualitative analysis about the impact the applicants want to make with their projects and initiatives, and information and awareness. You see on the right side, it's a little bit small, sorry. Information and awareness is the impact most of the initiatives want to make in different aspects, and followed by economic growth, and then cultural aspects. We want to give out more about our evaluation of the applicants, and we will do that in a report that we will present in the next weeks.
Back to me. Thank you very much, Manuel and Claudia. We'll see you both a little bit later on when it's time to announce the outcome of today's competition and for other little bits and pieces along the way. But for now, thank you very much. It's over to the finalists now to talk a little bit more about their projects. Just to explain the mechanics of this again, there's 2 minutes of pitching that's pre-recorded. We'll bring them on live for some live questions with one of the members of the jury. It'll be judged in 2 batches, the launch and the growth stream, and we'll all vote together on the audience favorite, the audience participation portion of this at the end of the 6th pitch for the first group and the 4th pitch for the second group. Just to be very, very clear, the jurors will all vote on all of the entries. So that's right, we have the actual decision makers here on the left-hand side of the screen, and we have some additional questions contributed by some of the jury that can't make it with us live for the event, but have still helped us throughout the competition. That's Jens and Laura. Thank you very much for your help and assistance with this one. But we have some absolutely leading minds in the business helping us make the tough decision of who will be the social entrepreneurship competition in travel winner for 2022. Let's take a look at the first 6 launch track participants, please. This is the first 6 voices that we'll hear. They have been chosen at random. We'll hear from the first organization in just a moment. The Valueable Network with Paola Voterini from Italy. Looking forward to hearing from you, Paola. Can we get you up on stage here in just a moment? Sorry, excuse me, Maria, I'm a little bit out of track. Let's have Paola's pitch, and we'll have Paola up on stage in just a moment.
Hello. Someone said that projects are dreams with deadlines. Our dream was to build up a network of companies that believed in profit as much as in diversity, thought that different people provide great value to business, ignored foolish stereotypes. But who were the dreamers? 7 disability associations, 5 major hotel chains, the European Down Syndrome Association, the European Hotel Managers Associations, the LUMSA University, and the Italian Association of Hospitality Employers. Can we say that the problem is represented by 5 million Europeans with an intellectual disability? They are usually simply ignored, but for them, to find a job is a matter of dignity. The solution, a network and a brand. Meeting all the deadlines, our dream has come true. Today, more than 100 companies are the Valueable network, from 5-star hotels to small pubs. All of them include people with intellectual disabilities within their workforce. They are located in 6 European countries, from Portugal to Turkey. And after 4 consecutive grants since 2014 from the Erasmus Plus program, we have realized 2 main things. First, we can't go on just relying on the EU Commission's funding. Second, we must adopt a multi-level revenue model, which includes differentiated member companies' fee, sponsorships, in-kind contributions, further grants, and co-branding. Numbers are comforting. Since 2016, the Valuable's members have been increasing. Some companies gave up due to the pandemic, but others came. Our plan is to extend and consolidate the network with actions addressed to our stakeholders like hospitality companies, disability associations, and general public. Our objectives in 2024, 150 members in 8 countries. In 2027, 250 members in 10 countries. The team, our coordination, CERTRA coordination unit, consists of a dozen of people coming from all over Europe. We do our best to extend the network and to manage the Valuable trademark registered in 2018. Next steps. We know for sure that by February 2024, the central unit should become sustainable, self-standing, thanks to the revenue model mentioned earlier. Finally, a call to action. Come and share our dream with us. Thank you.
Paolo, well done. Thank you for joining us live at this portion of the competition. How do you think you're feeling about your odds here?
I'm feeling well, and it's strange to see myself talking to myself.
Well, look, it's a powerful pitch, and I see some great traction in the notes here, that you've got some wonderful connections with existing partners in Europe so far, so well done on that. I have a little bit of news. We don't have your jury member live to ask you the question, but that's what I'm here for, so I'm going to ask the question on behalf of the jury myself, if that's okay. The question I have is, have you thought about the scalability of your idea and business model so far?
Yes, this is the reason why we have established those quantitative objectives, because we think that one coordination unit, which is now already operating, can work and have even wider network all over Europe. So we can scale and we can enhance and grow our network, also thanks to the not just the companies, but the other side, the training company, the training agencies who train and place people with disabilities, with intellectual disabilities. Remember that we are not speaking about all disabilities, but just intellectual disabilities. And thanks to the training agencies, we can arrive in many other countries. So I think that the scalability is quite high of our intervention.
One question I would ask is, what do you think the biggest challenge will be? It's just a question that I was thinking of. What's the biggest challenge you'll see?
The biggest challenge is the stereotypes of people, stereotypes of companies. We made a lot of investigation and surveys, and we saw that before experiencing people with intellectual disabilities working, usually people are full of fears. What people will say, what customers will say, how the staff will accept or not accept these people. And then all or almost all, let's say, all the companies who have experienced this are quite happy. And they said that, for instance, when they send social media, when they send a tweet or a post speaking about these people, usually the public is much higher than their usually message. So, and a lot of, for instance, Melia International, a very big hotel company and chain, they have produced a video about their experience in Valueable, and they have advertised themselves as a Valueable member. So I think they are more convincing than me, because I am too social, I am too much involved. So I cannot be the best lawyer, and lawyer.
We'll have to leave it there, Paola. I have to keep time as well, and I'd love to keep chatting to you. You can tell I'm getting gripped by this, but I have to move on. I think you did very well. I think the traction so far is great. So I wish you the best of the competition. Thank you so much for taking part, and best of luck later on. It's my privilege now to introduce our next participant in the competition, Smart for Sustainability, founded by Christian Arteaga in Panama. And some interesting facts about Christian. He's 25 years of experience in the business, and I love the spin on this as a travel tech guy and a tech head. I love where they're going with this, and I'm looking forward to the reaction to the pitch. If you're joining us live, please like, comment, and share. And make sure you can get as much of a buzz going with the social entrepreneurship competition hashtags, please. Christian, can we get Christian's video pitch going, please, Maria? And we'll hear from Christian in just a moment.
Mi nombre es Pilar Montesinos Cusiupanqui, soy la coordinadora de la asociación La Tierra de los Yachag. Estoy desde base cero, 15 años con la organización. Somos la tierra de los Yachags, la tierra de los que saben, de los que comparten el conocimiento, la historia, nuestras tradiciones y cultura viva en nuestras comunidades. El turismo comunitario era una de las actividades importantes para aporte económico de la familia. Y con el COVID se ha quedado en la comunidad sin tener un acceso de mercado, y también muchos de nuestros clientes como agencias, operadores han cancelado las ventas de reservas y ya no se ha podido concretar con los mismos acuerdos o convenios hechos. Ahora buscamos nuevos mercados, pero el segmento de herramientas de gestión han cambiado, se ha vuelto digital y es un poco difícil hacer entender en la comunidad que el mundo digital es nueva ventana de mercado. A través del convenio con Smart y a la Tierra de los Yachags, con el mundo digital de las imágenes, nos ayudará a seguir mejorando la calidad de vida de nuestros asociados, nuestros servicios como capacidades humanas en la agricultura, en la soberanía alimentaria.
Native communities have been always a great inspiration. Their traditional values and their relationship with Mother Earth represent something that has to be known. Tourism can represent a great way not just for communication, but also for development and hope for thousands of communities in different parts of the world. The efforts of governments and institutions to save native communities are not enough. Smart for Sustainability is our proposal to generate development resources for native communities through the digital economy, in this specific case, through the NFTs. Our project aims to co-creatively generate digital art with native community artists and influencer NFT artists. In this way, we will be able to sell this art in our marketplace and generate the resources of development for the native communities.
Our revenue model contemplates that user-owned companies will be able to acquire Solidarity NFT and NFT travel to contribute to native communities to generate development funds. All this to be commercialized in a marketplace. Art and travel as a means of development and protection of community traditions and their environment. Through the digital economy, Smart for Sustainability proposes the development of Solidarity NFT and NFT travel, which in addition to art represents for the user the participation to exclusive activities within the beneficiary communities. Our team combines experience and youth. The experience of the lead team, with several years in different industries related to technology and tourism, and the youth and understanding of an operative team that is part of Smart for Sustainability. This first year, we've been focused in developing this idea to present it to different competitions and win. For the next year, our idea is to develop the first NFTs, commercialize them, generate the funds, and also do the first reinvestment project in the communities. For the third year, we will be able to deliver these facilities and projects to other communities. Smart for Sustainability invites you to be part of this passionate project and connect your roots.
Christian, thank you for joining me live. Where are we speaking to you in? Is it Peru today?
I am in Peru today.
Well, it's great to have you. I will be standing in to pose you the jury questions, so I'm trying to color a little bit of your project with a few technical questions and a few scale questions, so you'll have to forgive us for having two jury members on in a row that haven't quite made it, so hopefully we'll get more on later. Christian, for now, please, could you tell me maybe For your defined customers, I love the project. I love the spin, obviously, as tech, but who is the customer and how are you going to reach them? Social media doesn't seem to be, seems like a native distribution channel, but is it the right way to reach the customers for your program, your project?
Thank you. Well, first, the idea is to get the already users of NFTs. There is an amazing market that is growing. Actually, I think last year it was about $1 billion that they were moving around the investments in NFTs. So this is important because they are buying things that are maybe not that valuable in the background because they are just simply images or other stuff. So what we are proposing is to do more solidarity and also utilities NFTs. So there is also another segment that is the companies. We want also to attract companies to invest in their social responsibility projects in our marketplace. We will develop a marketplace to help these communities.
You're adding weight. It's a different type of content. Ultimately, the origin of the art is something that's native. It's you're preserving culture as well, and creating the value system around it. It seems quite transparent. What's the reaction within the communities been so far?
We did an agreement with 8 communities from the Sacred Valley of the Incas. And we are already working with some communities in Panama to also get them into the project, and they are very receptive. Actually, as you see in the video, these 85 families from the Sacred Valley of the Incas were already living in the tourism industry, and with the pandemic, they stopped abruptly. So they had great expectations. It's something that motivates us, and I think it's probably our bigger dream to do a more social equity between different people, genders, and be supportive with their needs. No?
Christian, you've been great. I wish you all the best in the competition. We have to hear from 4 other competition entrants over the next few moments. But thank you so much for joining us today live from Peru. And staying in Peru, our next participant in the competition is a project called Your Ancestral Teacher. A great new type of travel project, and I'm going to hand it over to Paula's video, and we'll join Paula in just a moment.
Everyone, my name is Paola, and today I'm happy to share a new project with you, Your Ancestral Teacher. How many of you love coffee and have wondered where it comes from? If you've always wanted to learn more about coffee, you could find a workshop in your city. But what if you could travel to Peru or Colombia and learn about this product from the communities that have been harvesting it for centuries? And what if your hobby is knitting? If you could travel to Peru and learn ancient textile techniques with the locals, how different will your experience be? There are many skills in rural communities around the world waiting to be discovered. Through Your Ancestral Teacher, you will find a community where you can learn or improve that skill you have been longing for. How did I come up with this idea? I come from the Peruvian Andes, where rural communities preserve ancient knowledge about textile, ceramics, and music. Not many travelers have the opportunity to visit these villages, and when they do, they don't have enough time to really appreciate the wisdom behind the communities. After Corona, tourism trends have changed. More travelers aim to have a positive impact on the destination, plus they are eager to look for more authentic connections. In this scenario, Your Ancestral Teacher fills that gap by offering a platform that connects rural communities and travelers. By visiting the platform, travelers will find communities around the world where they can learn from ancestral teachers. What is our revenue model? We want to make the financial aspects of our project as sustainable and as transparent as possible. While building up a relevant audience, we will try to cover our financial needs by gathering venture capital. Once the platform is up and running, we have identified 3 different revenue streams. As a data-driven platform, we will charge a small percentage for each sale made via the platform, a maximum of 3%. For the second stream, we chose a cooperation approach, which offers the products to specialized tour operators in international markets. As we will have the data structured and up to date, it will be very easy for them to implement them into their offer. By doing so, we can generate revenue in the time when we don't have enough organic traffic to our platform. Finally, we will also sell experience-related products in the platform, which will also benefit the communities. A key component in your Ancestral Teacher will be transparency. Travelers will be able to see the real percentage that goes to the platform. Through your Ancestral Teacher, we will bring positive impact to the communities because we will give more value to their wisdom and traditions, we will preserve their heritage, and we will prolong the length of stay of travelers. At the same time, we're aiming to create a community of more responsible travelers that value these communities and that see in villagers ancestral teachers. Through this project, we will also contribute to 5 of the SDG goals: no poverty, decent work and economic growth, reduce inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production. What is next? We will start in Peru, where we have identified 21 rural communities that have experience with tourism and that are interested in joining our platform. We develop a special criteria that follows sustainable development and tourism goals. Only the communities that meet these criteria will be able to join your Ancestral Teacher. By doing this, the traveler will be sure that they are choosing a responsible experience. During the first phase of the project, we aim to benefit more than 80 families in rural communities in Peru. Through your Ancestral Teacher, we can show the world the magnificent skills that rural communities have. Travelers will have the opportunity to learn from their techniques, but most importantly from their way of life. They are our true Ancestral Teachers. Thank you.
Hello, Paula. Thank you so much for the pitch. That was really, really exciting. I'll be your first customer, first of all, but I do have some questions of things that maybe were not considered or explained in the pitch, because of course you didn't have a lot of time. So my first question, and this is going to be even more challenging when you decide to upscale and expand outside of Peru. The first question is, how exactly is the Ancestral Teacher trained in order to host tourism experiences? Because of course this is not maybe something that they're used to. They're artisans or they are a master in different crafts, but of course they do not handle with tourists every day, I assume. And also you are more of an online intermediary. So how do you ensure that they are trained in order to host tourists?
Hi, Manuel. Thank you for your question. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Okay, great. Sorry if there is a problem with the connection. I just got too much of pictures, so here the connection is not very good. But answering your question, how would we solve that? We develop a criteria to work with certain communities. No, part of that criteria says that the community has to have certain experience with tourism, at least 2 years of experience. Based on our experience, we also noticed that these communities work with already some social entrepreneurs that manage the community, because as we know, they don't have technology or Wi-Fi and so on. So it will be key to have these kind of partners on the destinations. No? So for example, yesterday I visited a community here in the Sacred Valley of the Incas, and it's not that I have to work with the social entrepreneur that works with them, no? Which will our work better, and which will grant that we have more communities on the platform.
Okay, thank you. And then my second question would be in terms of transportation and accessibility to these rural communities, because some of them, especially you're talking in an Andean landscape, are very difficult to reach.
Yes.
So you did talk about cooperations with tour operators, which would ensure that part, but there's also the element of how would a tourist otherwise access, if I want to buy directly an Ancestral Teacher experience from you, how do I reach my goal?
Yes, definitely. Accessibility is something we have considered. Sorry. Accessibility is something we have considered. No, once there are 2 ways. So the first way is that you can the transportation via the social entrepreneur that manages the community, Or two, we give you information on how to get the community, because many of them, there is public transportation, as we know, it's not the best transportation, it's more local, but it's another way to get to the community. So in the platform, we will provide all of that information to make sure that you reach the destination with no problems.
Okay, thank
Paola,
you,
that's a
Paola.
great end. Manuel, thank you so much for joining us again. We'll see you soon. Paola, thank you for making the call from Machu Picchu, no less. What a backdrop. Fair play for making it, and all the best to the competition. Thank you for being here. On next is our fourth of six contestants in this part of the launch track. It is the have I got it wrong? I have. It is the fifth of six. It's the African Xplorer project, which offers camper van 4x4 rentals and organizing cultural, creative, and educational events with rural communities. I am dying to hear from you, Ismen. Are you here? Have I missed one? I have missed one. Sorry, that's on me. I'm very sorry. I have the wrong. I was right the first time. It's the fourth of six that we're looking at. Thank you, Maria. My background producer here is Maria Stoyanova, keeping me honest. And I've just had a note in my ear that I have completely missed one of the experiences. Immersive local experiences in the Himalayas, a showcase of real beauty of Nepal and to provide immersive travel experiences. Nepal is more than just mountains. Sajana, can you hear me? We'll see Sajana's pitch and we'll bring her on for her jury question in just a moment.
Namaste, my name is Sajana Vadal. I'm from Nepal, the land of Himalayas, the country that is rich in cultural history, nature, and food. I have a background of social entrepreneurship, social work, and today I'm here to present my initiative, Immersive Local Experiences in Himalayas. Tourism in Nepal is the fourth largest industry, employing more than 370,000 people. Approximately 1.2 million tourists visited Nepal in 2019. The tourism industry looks impressive, but it is unfortunately male-dominated and very few women are benefited economically. Additionally, a majority of the travel trekking agencies are selling same products and it creates unhealthy competition, no inclusiveness, no authentic experiences for travelers. Nepal is so much more than the mountains that I want to showcase of my different cultures, arts, history of our country. And with this mind, I present to you a sustainable tourism solution, Xplorer of Nepal. We provide women the opportunity to be involved in economic development, empowerment through sustainable tourism. And our tours are led by local women and we always aim to lower our carbon footprints wherever possible. And we follow the zero plastic rules on our tours. We prioritize travel to stay in local homestays rather than the guest house and bring that element of cultural exchange, immersive nature, and can connect with people, have a great connection with people. So to be more specific, I would like to introduce some of our tours. The first ethnic and heritage food tour that the travel or tours are focused on the oldest villages, Kathmandu Valley, across Nepal. Participants will have an opportunity to learn, cook different ethnic foods of Nepal. Similarly, Nepal is also rich in arts, ancient culture. The Himalayan art tour is a chance for tourists to learn a new skill. So we organize Thanga art workshop, Mithila art workshop. It is a traditional form of painting that features intricate details and it is very spiritual, meditative at the same time. And these unique experiences can only be done with the support of local people and their insights. So our tours and workshops will be marketed through social media platforms, Airbnb, Booking.com, referrals, and we make sure 10% from the income will always go for the female initiative to develop or enhance their leadership skills, entrepreneurship skills in rural areas. So I'm very much motivated to work in the Explorer of Nepal. I have been working social media and the visibility has increased by 20%. And I'm working in the website and it will be published by next month, finished by next month. So I would also like to share some testimonials and feedback from previous travelers like Parth Sarthi that he came in Nepal for his PhD thesis. I helped him by organizing ethnic food tour in Kathmandu Valley and he found very useful that exactly what he was looking for the thesis. And Melanie, we did the Langtan trek and after the trek we had the great Dasai celebration, the biggest celebration of our Hindu religion, and she has a very immersive and cultural experience. And Maya Shrestha, she is a single mom taking care of 2 kids and she is able to take care of kids and food because of this job. So we always make sure that to contribute to SDG goals by bringing more women in tourism, making sure 10% goes to women, accelerate their efficiency, directly working in the communities, cities, electric vehicles, or partnering with women groups. And we are working SDG 5, SDG 8, SDG 11, and 17. So these are my amazing tips from Grey Community Homestay, Bumati, and my amazing team Girls Empowered by Travel Nepal. So my next goal is to finish my website, to reach out more girls, women applying for the tour guide license. So thank you so much for your attention. I'm very grateful towards all the members and my mentor who put so much effort to support, motivate, and helping to bring my dream into reality. So you can follow us, we are very active on social media platforms, and you can be always very updated with our work. Thank you so much.
Can you unmute Sayana and Neil? Over to you in just a moment for your question.
Yeah. Do you hear me?
We're good. You're live.
Are we okay, Kevin?
Yeah. Fire ahead. You've got 2 minutes.
Okay. I'll talk quickly. Sajana, a great presentation, as they all have been. It's going to be very difficult judging, and certainly one that deserves lots of support, whether from us or others. My question to you, frankly, is a question I would ask all of the finalists, but you're the lucky one that gets to answer. And this comes from my experience in this successful social enterprise that we've set up in Vietnam that also focuses on tourism. The challenge is that broad social media does not bring many guests. I think that's often overlooked. Broad social media is not a successful tool for bringing many guests. And I'm wondering, a specific question is, although you talk about social media and of course you're quite adept at it, how can you target beyond that to garner the kind of tourism traffic that you need to make your project successful and sustainable?
Do you hear me, Neil?
I do. Could you understand me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Neil, for this question. And yes, the social media is the easiest tool to showcase your work and your initiatives, but you always struggle to get the right travelers. So right now I'm working on the word of mouth and referrals, and working on the booking.com and different traveler networks. So mostly I hope to get these travelers because this experience is really unconventional and it is not popular among the travelers. So I'm getting few of my friends have already done this tour with me, and they are doing the referrals and references. So that's what I'm thinking to do in the future. But also I'm very hopeful because whatever I'm doing is Nepal is more than the mountains, and people definitely come here in Nepal for different experiences, because Nepal is just not more the adventure lovers. It is for the cultural arts and different people. So I believe that people will definitely come to Nepal, and also it will be the additional value. You can do this tour or workshop after your trekking or travels after the mountains, because you are not always there with the mountains. You will definitely come into the city areas and you want to do extra, and that will be adding the values. My initiative will definitely add the values.
Great, thoughtful, and obviously you're thinking about the challenges. I think I have a little time left. I'll ask you one second question. As I recall, looking over your presentation materials, you note something about contributing 10% back to the local community, and I'm just wondering why only 10%, and where is 90% of the other proceeds going to?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So I'm working in this organization, Girls Empowered by Travel Nepal, and so this idea is very new, and I want to make sure that this initiative really goes well, and I want to make the costing, all the incomes, help the women to train and orient them and be ready for the initiative. So eventually the contribution will grow up, but now that I want to make sure that it goes very well, and 10% will definitely go to the women. Thank you.
Thank you.
It breaks my heart to interrupt this, and you guys have such a good rapport. We could have gone for another half an hour on this one, so sorry to interrupt. Sayana, Neil, thank you so much for helping us explore the topic a little bit more. And now we'll finally have Ismen. Sorry, I got the order wrong just there, but Ismen will be up next with Pollyanna, her juror, to ask her a question. But first, the video pitch for African Explorer.
All African Explorers is a travel story that started in 2018. While living in Gabon, my travel partner Nena and I observed that African inhabitants don't travel in their own countries because it seems too complicated. We decided then to travel across Africa to promote domestic tourism. Unfortunately, our project had been stopped by COVID. But in reality, it just evolved. We built amazing memories, but we also faced issues during our journeys. Through a round trip to Gabon, we randomly met Leah, who introduced us to the traditional art of clay pottery. We felt so privileged to spend time with her, but discovering the whole process, from clay collection to baking, would have required us to spend at least 3 days around, and unfortunately, she could not accommodate us. Suddenly, our hotel was about 4-hour round trip from a home, which is exhausting and polluting. Then, even if Leah was a very generous teacher, she wasn't used to share her skills and wasn't well equipped. We left slightly frustrated. During the lockdown, I kept on visiting the world through YouTube. That's where the solution came to me. A young couple overlanding in a small campervan. That's it. We need an off-road house on wheels, which will provide comfort, be functional regarding some specifics of African countries, and full autonomy thanks to solar panel. But it wasn't enough. As incredible as it is, Africa has so much more to offer visitors than wildlife experiences. That's why we also want to change this narrative by providing immersive experience around culture, as learning to weave traditional lawn clothes, off-trail adventure by exploring the bush in the footsteps of a secret waterfall, immersion by participating in the harvest and transformation of organic cocoa. We propose to explore Africa by renting a campervan for 4 fully equipped, to experience unique micro-adventures in a complete serenity, and obviously to assist our guests 24/7. Our first market will be West Africa, starting in Ivory Coast. Our target is the 21st century adventurer, medium class, over 30 years old, looking for meaningful trips and to contribute to cultural dialogue. Our forecasted income could increase by 4, as we plan to reinvest our profits into new campers purchasing. In the first 2 years, we'll focus on B2C development. Then, with a more extensive fleet, we could consider B2B. Our activity reached directly 3 MGDs. 8, by sharing our revenue with our stakeholders, especially by dedicating 30% of our turnover to communities projects. 12, by promoting the virtues of sustainable and community tourism for the environment. 17, by building local partnerships serving sustainable tourism. And through rural projects identified by communities, we also expect to reach 11 other transversal goals. We like to call ourselves slow travelers because instead of visiting many places, we rather explore deeper only a few. Beyond travel, we are complementary and can rely on our professional skills to bring the project to fruition. Nena is the more attracted to off-trade travel and extreme sport. I am the creative one, passionate about traditional and craftsmanship. We expect to launch our services on April 2023. Our first campervan will land in Ivory Coast on December 2022. We plan to travel across Ivory Coast with the car from January to March in order to identify secured parking space, to inventory roads, trip services, and to build partnership. Our main challenge will be to anticipate the unexpected and to provide serenity to our guests. We can't wait to organize your next trip. Thanks for your attention.
Hey.
Hi, Ismen. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. What about you?
This is a great presentation, and I really, really love your project. I'm a big road tripper myself, so
Thank you.
This is very exciting to see. I guess my question to you is most concerning how you plan on working with local communities. I understand that this is a big portion of your project, but I'd like to understand a little bit more of how you're approaching these communities, what kind of experiences you've sought out so far, and how that relationship is going.
Okay, so the first experiences, we got it when we were traveling around Africa. So every time we get to villages, before that, we identify, we identify a person who will host us. So before getting there. For this project, we'll just do the exactly same thing, which means we'll identify people in the traditional villages. Most of all, it is the official traditional person. So we will make some partnership with them. We will decide it for the refund of our activity, the 30% that we will have to give back, and also to negotiate for the stay, for the car and everything. So that's the way. At this moment, we already have the network of traditional chiefs that we can work with. And through our travel plan in January, we are going to meet every single person to build this partnership with them.
That sounds wonderful. Thank you so much, and good luck.
Thank you.
Ms. Men, well done, bon courage. For
Merci.
those who've been listening in to the different pitches throughout the competition, you'll have heard reference to SDG a number of times. That's a Sustainable Development Goal from the UN, the UNWTO. You'll read more about that by heading over to the competition website, socialentrepreneurship.com, links wherever you're watching this video. But now it's time for the sixth and final pitch in the launch track. It is from a project called Homely, based in Uganda. We're going to be joined by Al Anamora, the founder of the project, in just a moment. After his video pitch, he'll be questioned by Jonathan Coleman from the On Tours Foundation. Over to Al.
Hi, my name is Alan, co-founder at Homely. The problem we're trying to solve is the 50% shortage of bed and breakfast services during peak season in national parks in Uganda, according to the Uganda Investment Authority. This is coupled with a growing number of 60 million tourists who would want to travel across Africa. Homely is a digital marketplace that will provide an easy way for women to learn hospitality management and to monetize their vetted homes and extra space while giving tourists world-class bed and breakfast services. The homes are routinely vetted for security. Homes provide laundry and errand services. Homes provide a 24/7 helpline, WhatsApp and toll-free number for calls. Homely provides mandatory skilling for all our homeowners, and the Homely Association of Bed and Breakfast Homeowners in East Africa provides a platform to meet the growing redress needs of tourists and bed and breakfast homeowners. The Homely revenue model is to earn a commission on every transaction on the Homely platform. Bed and breakfast services, laundry services, errand services are all sources of income. Our impact strategy will be to address our 5 core stakeholders' needs, namely our guests, our hosts, the communities in which we operate, our employees, and our shareholders. Our responsibility to our stakeholders and guides our operations. We are designing and developing for the long-term benefit of all stakeholders, and will measure our progress and adjust when we don't get it right. We do not claim to know it all. This will be a learning process. The team is composed of Alan Adadora, an ecosystem builder and e-commerce web developer, Petero Wamara, a 30-year businessman with experience spanning 30 years, and a Stanford lead advisor, and Mr. Edwin Muzahura, the managing director of Tides Africa Safari and former Uganda Tourism Board market manager. The next steps would be to gain real feedback on the ground, in addition to what we've already garnered from 70 travelers across Africa, to create a prototype by October 2023 and create an MVP by 2024 January. We will then hope to launch in July 2024 and have version 2 by latest November 2024. We are requesting for investors to give us a $10,500 dollar investment to conclude our focus group interviews and launch a prototype to test with real customers.
Hi, Alan. How are you?
I'm great, Jonathan. Nice to see you. Nice to hear from you.
See you. Yes, and thank you for that presentation. It was very, very interesting. My first question for you is just to ask you to clarify a bit more about how your business will interact with the existing platforms like Airbnb or Verbo or any of the other platforms for booking houses and rooms. So how does what you're doing interact with those?
Oh, that's a very good question. It's well and very well thought out. One, we do not intend to compete with those other platforms. On the contrary, we will actually encourage people on our platforms to join those platforms so that they can get extra income. The goal is extra income from these women homeowners who have a space that they can rent out. Our idea is that the more income, again, the better. Again, it also gives them more. Our trainings give them a better performance also on these platforms. They have a better service offerings. They can talk about having hospitality skills which they'll have garnered from our platform. Thank you.
Okay. And so if there is booking on if someone books through one of these homes through a different platform, do you have a way to earn some revenue from that also? Or is that you only earn revenue when someone books on your platform?
So far, we haven't thought about that. That's a really good one. We haven't thought about the other way, but currently it's only through. It's only when they book through ours.
Through your platform. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And maybe if there's time, a last question. You mentioned having an MVP like by sometime later in this year or next year. What will the MVP look like? Do you know?
The MVP will look a lot like Airbnb right now, except it will also have a training module that's on the side of the homeowners.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Alan, Jonathan, thank you so much for your explanation and exposing a little bit more about the project while you were chatting there. It's great. Best of luck, Alan. Jonathan, we'll see you later. You have a job to do, Alan. Jonathan, I have to send you away. The audience has to do some voting. We're going to hear a little bit from our sponsors, but our jurors are to head over to a secret backroom channel to discuss their votes for the 6 previous contestants here in the 2002 Social Entrepreneurship Competition in Travel launch track. We heard from the Valueable Network, Smart for Sustainability, Your Ancestral Teacher, Immersive Local Experiences in the Himalayas, African Xplorer, nearly got those 2 the wrong way around, and Homely, just there with Al Alanora. So I'm delighted to say that it's our time here as an audience to cast our vote, please. So we'll hear a little bit from our sponsors in just a moment, but here, if you hold up your camera, your smartphone camera, it'll automatically recognize the QR code. That'll bring you to menti.com as if you've typed in the code 160060095. That will allow an audience vote. You know, we didn't announce this one in advance just so that the entrepreneurs couldn't gamify it, but by absolutely no means should you not share that with everybody you can, guys. It's now a moment to get as many votes as possible in, but for all of our live viewers on travelmassive.com, on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. This vote is for you. Whip out the smartphone, take a scan of the QR code, or head on over to menti.com 160060095 to cast your vote for one of the 6 launch track participants, please. We'll be announcing the result later on in the competition, but we'd like you to vote on that now, please. Our next segment, while the jury is out making their decision as to what's happening with the launch track, it's my great pleasure to introduce and to get a little bit more acquainted with the, you know, they're sponsors, but they're a little bit more than sponsors. They're very much enablers for the program. You know, this is, it started outside of Berlin in Eberswalde University, but it could not take place without the support of TUI Cares, of SINA, of Fire organization in Goa, as well as ITB Berlin, an organization that I love personally very, very much. So it's my great pleasure to introduce representatives from each of these 4 organizations to join me on stage here for just a moment to talk about their organization and what they think of the competition so far. So today we have with us, I have lost my notes, Etienne Salborn from SINA. Thank you so much for mentoring and structuring our finalists to get them this far. You've been a great supporter of the competition last year and this year. Thank you so much. We also have Bastian Hiller from TGIT. We have Rika from ITB Berlin. We were supposed to have Arush from Fire Goa, but we'll have to do without him. Guys, could you each please tell me a little bit about the contribution of your organization towards this competition, please? Maybe starting with Etienne.
Yeah, hi. I'm calling in from Uganda and from SINA, where we, as Social Innovation Academy, are unleashing the potentials of marginalized youth, marginalized young people to create social enterprises. And we are doing that in 8 communities currently in Africa. So with that experience, we have been coming on board last year and this year to support the entrepreneurs and mentor them, but as well this year especially to coordinate the mentorship and get the support needed that the entrepreneurs can really move forward, get the ideas out and start it and grow their businesses for the ones that are already existing. So it's been really a pleasure to getting to know everyone, and it's really rewarding to see the progress, and it's exciting. And I just want to wish everyone really the best of luck and continue the journey. It doesn't stop here, but this is just the beginning, I think, for many.
Etienne, as somebody that's been through tracks like this before, I'm dying to know what it's like from your perspective. What is the change like when they come in versus when they come out of your program? What's the difference you see?
The difference is often similar in the launch track, that some are not really confident, like they don't believe in themselves or their ideas, and then it just proves that it works, and then the person or the enterprise is just taking off, and that's just amazing to see the changes, and that's also what inspires me often to just see what is possible.
Bastian, I'd love to hear about your contribution as well, please, to the competition. Tell me a little bit about what's happening at TGIT, please.
Hey there, nice to meet you. I am one of the founders of TGIT, and we are a e-learning ecosystem focused on tourism. And we offer knowledge to all interested people trying to get better in tourism industry, or to people that are new in tourism industry, to learn about marketing, to learn about target groups, to learn about structures, about data flows, about pricing, and so on and so on. And I'm pretty happy to be able to support so many motivated young people, and that gives me a really good feeling of the future, or about the future of our industry, because it's very good to see that people, even in this tough times with Corona and so on, and the high prices for energy, that there are young people that are taking time and efforts to work towards a better and more open and more sustainable future, and that makes me kind of proud.
It's great to hear. We have time, of course, to hear from Rika, excuse me, here from ITB. Rika, you're my every March at ITB Berlin. Tell us a little bit about your involvement and maybe touch on the prize that you guys have organized for this year's competition winners.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to be with you, and hello from Berlin. Well, yeah, ITB Berlin, as you mentioned, is the largest travel trade show worldwide, and we have a huge platform also for content. And it has been my pleasure for many years to build up really a social responsibility and sustainable travel platform. And we are also one of the founders of this social entrepreneurship competition. And I really love working with you guys because I really believe that we need those young people, a lot of new ideas, you know, to rethink the way we are doing tourism. And we need social engagement and we also need environmental engagement, but this has to come together. And there's a lot of great people out there, and I'm happy that we can reach out. And that's why the winners, of course, will also have the chance to present themselves to this huge global audience at ITB. So we will include them in a panel discussion or give them kind of a speaking slot so that everybody will hear of what you're doing. So yeah, I'm excited to be part of it.
It's a dream combination of prizes that we have today for the winners, and Rika, certainly you contribute a huge part of that, a platform to speak and a platform to grow the business, as well as the structures from Sina and Tija to help an ascent or a growing or a scaling organization in this sector to succeed. You'll find similar structures in other parts of startup ecosystems. It's great to see these structures here to make sure that the fragile nascent stage of any growth opportunity for a startup can be sustained up to the point that it can sustain itself. It's great to see. So thank you so much for your contributions to the organization that we're at today. And I'm looking forward to seeing a little bit more from you guys later. Thank you so much for being part of the Social Entrepreneurship Competition in Travel 2022. Up next is our growth track. This is similar to what we have before. It's not a migration of last year's launch track, but it certainly is organizations and projects that are a little bit more established in their journey. So they may have revenue, they may have traction, they may have growth. But right now, what we have is an opportunity to hear from slightly more established businesses. And the cut of the projects last year was about 4 and 6. This time it's 6 and 4. We have 4 growth track finalists. And coming up first, we'll be hearing a video. I won't get that wrong again. A video from Vedette, and she'll be joined by Catherine Germer-Hamel for her question as juror in just a moment.
Hi everyone, I'm Vedette Ajololo, founder and CEO of Chale, the curated experiences organization making it possible for people to explore the continent of Africa. But more importantly, we are an organization that is run by Afro-Gen Zs. Before we get into that exciting part, I want to share why we actually set up this business and what problems we're seeking to solve. We know that there are 3 distinct problems when people want to explore the continent of Africa. The first thing is the fear and lack of familiarity with the continent, limited perceptions about Africa, and a high demand for high quality services, but not always the supply side matching accordingly. Chale is built on the premise of how do we sort out this mess? For us, we do this by ensuring 3 of our standards are met. Firstly, we tap into communities and make sure that we can tailor-make experiences based on the unique preferences of the community. So if it's a university group, we ensure that we have educational opportunities for them when they enjoy our curated experiences. If it's an older group that wants to maybe buy property, we make sure that we are able to offer them real estate tours as well as cultural experiences when they visit the continent of Africa. But the other part of our experiences is making sure that we have impact. And at the core of our business model is making sure that we can create opportunities for young people. Currently in Africa, we have a 12% unemployment rate and an even higher underemployment rate. And through Sorta Chale, we believe that we can support young people with job opportunities and leadership skills that they need to develop to do better in the future. Currently, we're very proud to share that we're paying young people 20 times the daily minimum wage in Ghana in our most peak seasons, giving them the opportunity to potentially have some disposable income and also pursue some of their dreams. The third pillar that we ensure that our business is run by is the model of trust, making sure that we can build a really trusted organization that can last for years to come. For us, impact is at the core of everything we do, particularly with young people, and that's why making sure that we employ an 80% Afro-Gen Z community is at the core of everything we do. Our customer support head, Kwesi, is 19-year-old, also one of the recipients of the Sorta Chale Scholarship Program. It brings me great joy to be able to work with such young, ambitious people who want to do better. And the tourism industry actually allows us to support young people in this way. At the end of 2021, we at Sorta Chale actually generated a revenue of over 200,000 USD. This year, 2022, we're also very much within our milestones of exceeding the 500,000 USD in revenue mark. We hope that through our technology platform that we recently launched, which is designed to be an Airbnb experiences model, but specifically for Africa, we're able to see a revenue growth through our ability to charge commission fees for transactions made by customers who are seeking to explore Africa. Thank you. Hi, Catherine.
Hi, Vidette. Congratulations for your speech. It was really energetic. You know, I listened to it several times, and all the time I feel so energized and inspired. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
So I will ask a question, you know, because recently I've been exposed a lot to young students and in hospitality and tourism, and young workers, also young professionals. And you know, the Gen Z, sometimes it remains a mystery for many people. And we old people, we believe that sometimes it's really challenging, you know, to secure the loyalty of the Gen Z, because you know, sometimes they want to change, they don't want to keep the same job forever. And so how would, what are you doing to keep, you know, your Gen Z working for you? How do you motivate them, not only with, you know, financial stability, but I'm very curious about how you handle those Gen Z employees.
Thank you, Catherine. I definitely think the question around, you know, loyalty of Gen Z is one that I can understand a lot of employers typically ask. On the contrary, I actually think that Gen Z employees can be very loyal. And this requires organizations to do a number of things, which Sorta Chale is currently doing. So for instance, you want to make sure that you're bringing them at the very younger stage in their careers. So that's at the internship level, and then giving them opportunities to grow. So that growth obviously is much slower than when you bring people who have years of experience. But what that means is that as they're learning with you, they're more motivated to stay with you. Through the growth period, what we've done and we see works is by giving them opportunities where they can display leadership skills. As I shared in my pitch, we have a 19-year-old who leads our customer support. And that's because he started with us in the summer as an intern and learned the ins and outs of our business, and now is in a position where he can actually deliver for us. And I think it's also our scholarship opportunities that we provide for them.
We have to cut there.
Yeah.
You know, Vidette, I love the energy of that pitch. I could watch just 10 minutes of pitching. It was amazing. Thank you for responding so well to the question, Catherine. We have to count the question as the time we have allocated, so we have to cut at exactly 2 minutes. But thank you so much for your contribution. And I know you have a tough job to do backstage to select among Vidette and the other participants in this year's competition. Up next is a project called Safari Wallet with Idi John from Tanzania. Idi will be joined by Rike Jean-Francois again from ITB Berlin. So we'll see them just after the video pitch.
Hi, good hello. My name is Edie John, and this is not my story, it's an African story. So think about one thing. Since tourism started in Africa, it has been highly dependent on the Western arrivals. We are talking about Americans, Europe, and Asians, right? So that was the only tourism. And we were sort of relaxing on that particular notion of travel. And then when pandemic checked in, it actually changed everything. We are speaking about at least 30 million cancellation that has happened. And that was the bomb crisis of all time for the tourism sector in Africa. Not only Africa, in the world. But a number of those who were affected were actually small, medium tour operators, local guides who are actually depending on a gig economy because their jobs are not formalized. On the same space, we've seen youth and women who are actually employed within the sector dropping and losing their jobs in a number that we could never imagine. But on the same space when this was happening, there were at least 26 million middle-class Africans who were left alone to find everything for themselves because no one actually ever thought Africans could be customers for the African market itself. And this is what we are bringing to you, Safari Wallet, which is an online travel marketplace that allows local tour operators and certified local guides within Africa to host multiple number of experiences on the platform and access a pool of local Africans who are actually using the platform to book pre-packed experiences or build their own at their own time and wish for stay local. And the mostly important one thing that the platform is doing for them is actually allowing them to pay slowly by installments, or they can even pay after travel in case of financial limits. Now, our business model is very accommodative. We are charging 15% only on each transaction that is made within the platform. So to today, what is so unique about us? We consider ourselves as stay local African tourism for the Africa tourism sector itself. We're looking, and we've done at least over 200,000 worth USD trips within our platform. We've actually created at least 350 indirect jobs within the sector. We've established partnership in technology, finance, and insurance to make sure that the journey is smooth for everybody who's using our platform. We've managed to build our MVP. Not only that, we've actually won multiple awards within the country, continent, and the sector itself. Now, we are actually also a result of many collaborations from startup schools, incubation, and strategic partnership. On the sense of impact, we consider ourselves as we support the post-pandemic economy recovery for the African tourism sector by localizing tourism for at least 26 million middle-class who wish to travel. We are also promising youth and women number of jobs, as well as increase the value of earning and guaranteed formalized jobs for the youth and women. Not only that, but we're also promoting responsible tourism for both service providers and the local partners. And all of this is done by a very driven team that is passionate, resilient, driven by the tourism, finance, innovation, people, data, and technology. The future and the next year for us is at least the next year to onboard 5 countries, transact at least 5,000 trips by end of next year, improving and automating features to make sure that we are giving smooth experiences for the local Africans who are using the platform, and adding more senior members so we can accelerate and increase growth and quick scaling as much as possible. I am so delighted to invite you to be part of Safari Wallet, and we are also raising $500,000 for the next year. Thank you so much.
Hello, Audrey, do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hi.
Thank you for the pitch. It was really nice to hear your idea, and I think it's a great idea to have travel experience for Africans in Africa. And this will save the industry in a way when we have more domestic travel. That's totally right.
Yeah.
So let me put you one question. I also saw that you said that in general, you offer to pay by installment, I mean, in manageable installment, but also pay after travel, buy now, pay later.
Yes.
And I'm a little bit concerned, whether this is really socially recommendable, because in a way, it helps people to get into debt. So can you say something about that?
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely explain that. And I think every model that we have designed on the platform, it is based on the customer's feedback.
in a sense. I'll give you a good example. One of the customer actually came to us. This was actually a year ago before we launched the PAT service, and was basically actually they've done their installments, and they had a shortage of an amount. And they're like, if we'll be able to actually top it up for them, and then we can actually give them a sort of like a relaxation mode where they can pay 6 months that particular installment, which I think it actually saves a lot of stress. Imagine you a shortage of $200 and you could pay it in 6 months in $20 maybe per week. It becomes less expensive, and actually in order for you to just buy that particular single dream.
Yeah,
so
we have installments here too. That's right. That's everywhere. That's happening
Yeah.
everywhere. But if that is the main payment model,
It's not the main payment model, because number one, somebody can actually, if they can afford to pay everything at once, they're allowed to do that. If they want to pay in installments, they can do at least a year plan. So you can either pay by weekly, before you travel, you can do 40 times in payments, or you can actually pay after travel in case of emergency. So PAT is just
Okay,
an emergency. Yeah, it's not like the strong model that within the service.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. I also wanted to ask a little bit more about your sustainable engagement, because you said you want to tell travelers to sustainably engage with nature.
Rika, we can't even get through the question. I'm heartbroken to say we're out of time, but we did get a good bit of perspective thanks to your questioning. Thank you so much for being part of the competition. And Idi John, I loved your storytelling way of getting through that pitch. I wish you all the best with the platform and with today's competition. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank
The
you,
next pitch, absolutely. Actually, you know what? I won't say that it blew my mind as much as Safari Wallet did. I love Safari Wallet, but the next one really changed my perspective. I loved this pitch, and joining us for the video pitch is Alvaro Silberstein. Alvaro will be questioned by Dr. Claudia Brotze from the competition in just a moment after the video pitch.
Hello, my name is Alvaro. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Will the World. I have a disability since I'm 18 years old. Today I'm 37. 5 years ago, I became the first person ever in a wheelchair to complete the double trek in Patagonia. Yes, because it was my dream to visit this place, but also to build a statement that if we could make accessible and inclusive the end of the world, we should make the whole industry more accessible for people with disabilities. Because challenges are everywhere when you have a disability and you want to travel. We face several challenges when traveling, basically because the accessibility information of the travel services are not online, and it's unreliable the information that you can find online about accessibility. Secondly, is because every disability has a spectrum. That means that each person with disability has these different accessibility needs. So this information needs to be very detailed in order to be relevant. And thirdly, hospitality businesses, they have no idea on how accessible or inaccessible their services are. Because of this, millions of people are having really bad experiences when traveling. This is why we founded Will the World with the purpose to make the world accessible, and we have built since 2019 an online travel marketplace to find and book accessible places to stay, things to do, or multi-day trips. We're listing these services online so our users can book it, and our value proposition is to provide detailed and verified accessibility information on every listing that you can find at willtheworld.com. A user experience that we recommend users how each of our listings recommend their specific needs, and we guarantee the accessibility that they are booking online. Our business model is charging a commission of 15% on every booking. And so far, 2,500 people has booked trips with us, people with disabilities, and also their companions that are also booking their trips with us. And our impact is measured by the number of bookings and travelers that are traveling with us every year. This year, we have grown 15% month over month, the number of bookings, and also the data that we are collecting about accessibility. 1,500 listings can be found at willtheworld.com with detailed accessibility information. We are a team very passionate, represented by 10 nationalities, who is passionate about solving the problem and who really knows what's the problem, because we are people with disabilities or companions of people that have disabilities. And today we're committed to become the best solution for people with disabilities in the US to travel the world. For that, we want to achieve 3 key goals. First, growing supply and collecting data points of accessibility in 5,000 listings by 2024. Continue developing our product and tech operations, and positioning the US to have 5,000 annual bookings by 2024. For this, we have a strategy, and there's a top-down approach to build supply and collect data points of accessibility, partnering with hotel chains and destination marketing offices who also have the incentive to collect these data points and understand better their accessibility in travel. And also to acquire customers for WeAreTheWorld.com, we say that our strategy is aggressive in brand and effective in performance. That means is that positioning is important for us, connecting with disability communities, and very effective in the digital marketing that you're spending to make a profitable business. To continue making people with disabilities travel the world without limits, that's our mission. And 3 years from today, we will be making millions of people traveling to thousands of destinations. Thank you.
Hello, Alvaro. Nice to meet you. How are you?
Hello, Claudia. Biggest dear.
Great. So we only have 2 minutes. I'm deeply impressed. You are not only someone with a vision, but you are also someone who is a role model for a lot of people. And I did some work with students. I also have some students who are sitting in a wheelchair, and we try to do something like outdoor tourism with a wheelchair. And the problem is always the information. And I was wondering how if you only are dealing with the US market because information is better accessible there, and it's better to bring the information in Booking or in other platforms that it is available, or if you also plan to access the European market.
Yes, that's a great question, Claudia. So what's our vision is to become the best solution for people with disabilities all over the world to travel. Okay, it is a very ambitious goal and vision, and you have to go step by step. What's our focus today is focusing on the US traveler. Why? Because we have limited resources. We cannot try to conquer the world from day 0 to 1. So our focus is the US traveler traveling domestically, so inside the US, and also internationally. Today, 90% of our customers are US travelers, and 50% of them are traveling inside the US, 50% of them are traveling internationally. Our second step will be to grow to other regions around the world.
Alvaro, time is up. Please give us one obstacle what you would like to address. Just one sentence. And
yeah,
then
one of our big challenges is how we can grow more supply, because we are having many people accessing our website that we willing to travel to a place that we still don't have any data, information, and listings. So we want to grow more and build more partnerships with more tour operators and hotels.
I have to stop you there. And even though it's the chief and the founder on the line asking the question, I have to be fair to the other participants as well. We are at time. We have to cut it off there. But with all the other participants, we'd have you on for 20 minutes if we could. It's an amazing project and amazing traction. Thank you so much for doing what you do. Please do more of it. A couple of quick announcements before we keep going with the last pitch of the day. Your work, dear audience, is done for your voting in the launch track, but do stay tuned. We've made a decision who the audience favorite for the launch track 6 projects were. We'll be announcing that at the end, but your job is still to do. It's in the offing for who will be the winner of the 4 growth track participants. So stay tuned. You have more work to do. If you are watching this live, thank you for doing so. Please share this profusely on all of your social channels. You'll find streaming links on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook, and others. And for those of you who can and you're watching offline, please leave a comment, like, and share the video that you found after the event. Thank you so much for joining our last pitch. It's here. It's been 9 pitches. Here's number 10. The last pitch of the day, as randomly selected for the launch track, is a project called Agritourism Development Corporation. We'll have the video pitch followed by a Q&A with Pandurang, the entrepreneur, and Dr. Jens Trainart from UNWTO and many other projects just after.
Namaste from all of us at Agritourism India. I am very excited to be part of this social entrepreneurship competition in tourism with the theme Care, Create and Change. I, as the farmer, and we at Agritourism India have carefully understood the problems faced by the farming communities in India. As the solution, we created Agritourism India model, and at last we changed thousands of lives of the farming communities in the entire country. Here I present Agritourism India. So let's come and be part of the Agritourism India story to change the lives of the farmers and to keep farm in the family and family in the farm. Agritourism India story. As you all know, today agricultural land holding is shrinking, inconsistence of rainfall, unpredictable market prices, and hence income, employment, and livelihood is from agriculture is not sustainable at all. On the other hand, do you see what we see at any holiday destinations? Tourist. We are witnessing a boom, tourism boom. And that's good news. Now tourists want more. They want participatory holidays experiences, explore, experience, and get interest. And we present a novel tourism experience called Agritourism. It's a concept hosted by the farmer's family that complements and connects farming to the tourism experience. At Agritourism India, we are actually educating the urban tourists to come and play in the farms. Tourists goes to villages, stay in the farm, learn about working agricultural farm, shop, buy agricultural produce, craft and handicrafts, homemade products from the farmers. We have the revenue model as income from the farm tours, farm stay, food, farm activities, on-site sale of fresh farm produce, processed farm produce, and art and craft souvenirs. We have the demand of 43% of the urban Indians. They don't have relatives left in the villages. Revenue sources to our organization, training programs for the new farmers to take on the onboard. Plus, we have our own farm, agritourism farm. From there, we generate the income. And also, we are conducting the workshops and new affiliation programs to the upcoming farmers. This is our traction rate. We have generated 330,000 tourists visited all these farmers across India. And revenue generated is almost 13 crores to 700 farmers. Maharashtra became the first state to declare the agritourism policy in 2020. I am proud to be a committee member in the crafting the policy. Agritourism has generated 13,000 and more jobs in the villages and 53 crore rupees of income to the farming communities. This is our team, and our next step is being part of the Shark Tank India Season 1. There are a lot of inquiries, a lot of farmers who wants to come into agritourism mold, and within the next 10 years, we want to create 2,500 agritourism centers across India. Thank you so much.
Namaste, sir.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, sir. How are you?
Very good, very good. Greetings from Saudi Arabia, from the WTTC Global Summit. So I hope my connection is okay. But first of all, congratulations on your business and your presentation. I do have a couple questions that I wanted to ask you to get a bit more detail. The first question I have is around training. So obviously you're looking to scale up. You're looking to almost like build a brand, if I understand correctly, around agritourism in India, and for lack of a better word, build a consortium of various farmers that can drive and build experiences. So the first question I have is around training. As you're obviously looking to build experiences, on one hand, I think some of the farmers might not be familiar with hospitality to really cater to guests, which is obviously important, because if that experience is not superior, or at least meets the expectations of guests, then that obviously could harm the entire model. So how do you train all these different farmers? How do you build standards that there is at least some kind of consistency in terms of the experience, the product that you promise when you promote it to potential guests?
Thank you so much, Dr. Zen. And to answer your question is, since I'm being part of the farmer's family, and working in the working farm for almost now 50 years, and on the other side, being part of the tourism industry for 20 years in sales and operations and training of tourism projects. All that knowledge, what I have gathered for 20 years in tourism industry, I am utilizing it to train the farmers in terms of hospitality, in terms of housekeeping, in terms of presenting the farm to the tourist. And we have certain criterias they have to meet, and then we take them on board with the agritourism experiences. And because every month we have training programs to the farmers lined up across India.
Okay. Thank you very much. I mean, I think this is probably going to be a big challenge to really execute that, but I wish you all the best of luck with that. My second question is on the sales side and the distribution side.
I'm
yes.
sorry, we're out of time. We've hit our 2-minute limit. I'm gutted, but I have to interrupt there, and it's probably fairer that I do until you've asked a question instead of leaving it hanging. So I'm sorry to cut you off.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Thank you again for your contribution. It's great to see you here again, and I hope to see you next year again as well. So thank you so much, Dr. Jens Trainhardt, for joining us, and Pandurang Taware from Agritourism Development Corporation in India. Thank you so much for joining. A quick shout out, please, to Fire Goa for helping us to promote this event and to supporting the event and being part of our prize package, but certainly for getting visibility across India that led to a number of entries, including Agritourism Development Corporation there. So thank you so much, Fire Goa, for being part of this event. Now, for the audience, for you watching live, it's time to get the camera phone out. Again, we have some more competition voting to do. So in the meantime, all of our jurors are being squirreled away backstage to a special voting area to cast their votes on what happens with the 4 growth track finalists. Launch has already been decided. The growth track it's all in the offing. The judges will be asked questions around how the projects are being run from a business model, creativity, and team perspective. They will cast their votes across all of the competition entries, not just the ones that they were on screen interviewing and asking questions of. So we'll see the results for both the tracks in just a moment, but we still have work to do as an audience. If you hold up your phone camera app to the QR code, you'll get a link to menti.com with the code 73648436. Your camera phone and QR code reader will do all of the work for you, but menti.com 73648436 is the voting for the growth track. We heard from Chale, Safari Wallet, Wheel the World, and the Agritourism Development Corporation just there at the end. So head on over to menti.com and cast your vote there, please. As part of the initial rounds of the long list, so to speak, all 131 entries, we have a special award from the organization called Streets International. They have a special prize to give out, and for that we're going to introduce Neil Burmas to join me here on stage. Neil, can you come up? And thank you so much for coming back again. It's great to see you.
Sure.
You
Good to
have
see you.
an announcement to make.
I do, but I need to take a deep breath after being part of such an amazing portfolio of social entrepreneurs and social enterprises around the world. It's hard to say much, or even say much with the higher bar being eloquent after so many just terrific, inspiring presentations, don't you think?
No, the energy here is something that is so encouraging to see. This is a growing space. This is the way, or should be at least a key influence in how travel should be. We should be thinking of the sustainability elements in all travel, and to see this grown and the energy of the promoters and the supports that are there, including from your own organization, Neil. Do you know what? That gives me a huge boost of energy myself. It's great to see. It's so great to see.
Well, thank you very much, and in the interest of time, I'll keep it to a minute and a half or something like that. And there are others still remaining to hear from. I wish there had been some similar homes or places or platforms when we started Streets nearly 14 years ago in Vietnam and the United States and a bit in Cambodia. It was a much more lonely world at that point for social enterprises in tourism, a much smaller family. Anyway, because of our journey now and the success, that the many lessons that we've learned and the success that we've enjoyed, and I'm very excited to say of an amazing reboot, which I hope is inspirational to all the others that are part of this discussion today. Now we're experiencing an amazing reboot of international tourism at our program in Vietnam, with many travelers once again making their way to Southeast Asia. So I think that speaks well for the possibilities for everybody. But as part of the success that we've enjoyed, and one of the lessons we learned, of course, it's important to continue to give back to many communities, and we wanted to support other up and coming, slow, sustainable social enterprises in tourism. And so we decided that a way for us to do that is to provide an additional award, which as we know, can be well used, particularly in the startup stages. And I'm particularly happy that the winner of our Special Streets International prize is a social enterprise in our region and doing similar work to us, and we hope to be able to collaborate into the future. So Stephanie, congratulations, and we're really delighted to be able to give you the award, and mostly we look forward to partnering in the future.
Hi, Neil. Thank you so much. So I'm Supani Mao from Spoon Cambodia organization based in Siem Reap. We are working to provide free hospitality training to 18 to 24 years old young adult who from poor family. And then we hosting Spoon Cafe Restaurant is a social enterprise. Our mission is provide a guest with a Cambodia corner experience with the authentic and unique food, as well as we enhance training food and beverage culinary skill to disadvantage, and 100% of our profit will go to support training program to difficult young adult in different provinces around in Cambodia. And we are eco-friendly restaurant. We Spoon, we try our best to recycle and compost waste where possible, and we feature many environment friendly products such as bio they boil straw and then take out the containers. And then it's a part of countryside refill, not landfill campaign in Cambodia. That is a reuse plastic. So we also think in our future that we are very impact to other small and medium enterprise in Cambodia, especially in Siem Reap, where is we consider to like social impact and good environment and sustainability in our community. Yep.
I think we're still waiting for the white smoke from the enclave voting on the winners for the competition, Stephanie. So we have a moment to chat a little bit about your project, if you like.
Please.
Can you just paint a picture for me of what life was like before and after your project? What was the impact you've made?
We can have support to disadvantage like 480 who can graduate from our school. It's a hospitality school. We provide cooking class, food and beverage service, and housekeeping. And then for 1 year, we provide them English class as well as a computer and life skill program along with their concentrate skills. And then we graduate, and then we support them to working at hospitality for 1 month. After graduate, 100% of our students complete get job with a good hotel, like 4 or 5 hotels, 4 or 5 star hotel in Siem Reap, Phnom Penh, Sihanoukville, and also others industry. So this is a very impact. And then our students not just have their skill on vocational training skill, but they also learn a lot regarding to environmental awareness, recycle product regarding to plastic, reuse plastic, as well as they are a part of the cleaning city in Siem Reap as well.
Sophanie, I've heard word the results are in. Sophanie, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on the recognition. I hope this is the next chapter of growth for you, and I hope the impact continues in a positive way. Thank you so much for being part of today's event, and thank you so much for the contribution from Streets International. The recognition, I hope, will last longer than the impact of the funds. I really do hope that it goes from strength to strength for you. I have a job to do. I have to introduce our founder and our sponsor in just a moment. But before that, when the time comes, and they will announce the winner of the growth track and the launch track of the competition, but I get to announce the winner of the public voting. So now there's no prize money that goes with this. We've got a great package of prizes for the winners. It's a success kit, if you think about it that way, of cash and non-cash prizes, including support and PR and great contributions from ITV and so on. But when you're in a pitch and you're giving it everything on stage or on screen, sometimes just knowing that the audience has voted your way is enough of a win, and that's the way we frame it. I think you'll find that it's a good buzz coming from this. So today I'd like to announce the winner of the public vote before we welcome Claudia back on stage. The public vote winner for the launch track is African Xplorer. And for the growth track is Agritourism India. Congratulations both. Thank you for the sound effects, Maria. Very much appreciated. Thank you so much. And well done, guys. This is the recognition that live on screen, you did really well in the eyes of all of our viewers. So congratulations and well done on that. It's time. It's time. Claudia, Manuel, can you please join me here on stage and take it from here? For my part, I think this is my last words for the competition. So thanks for having me back. And thank you so much for doing what you do, Claudia. Like I said, this type of recognition is what it takes to cultivate and to nurture startups in this space. So very well done on that. And I wish you the continued strength and growth that comes from this. So fair play.
Thank you very much, Kevin, for moderating and for giving us the possibility to be here today and to talk to everybody. You did a great job. Thanks for that. And I'm here now with Manuel. Manuel, we had a really tough job. How do you feel at the moment before we are announcing What do you think?
I totally agree, Claudia. It was a very difficult decision. We had a lot of great ideas in both tracks, and yeah, I'm really excited to see the outcome. I even had an outfit change. I was so nervous.
Oh, that's great. So now it's the great moment. So I would like to start with the launch track. So it is my privilege to announce now the launch track winner of the competition 2022. Oh, 2022. And it is your ancestral teachers. And I really think that this is a very good way. Thank you very much, Maria. Because I think learning from your ancestrals is a really sustainable way of education. Mostly our grandpas, they know a lot about life, about how to deal with resources. And I'm really happy that we found the solution that they are the first place. And if we can see the chart again for a minute, we have 2 second places. Maria, thank you very much. So on the second place, we have Valueable Network from Italy, and we have Immersive Local Experience in Himalayas. So you can see we had not a very easy decision. So we put 2 on the second place and 1 on the first place. And in the end, you are all winner. Thanks for being here. Manuel, I hand over to you.
Yes, thank you, Claudia. And of course, we're missing the growth track. And before I announce the winner, I just want to say really thank you for involving us as the Trikar Foundation. It is always for us a pleasure to be involved in this kind of project. Our objective is to build on the potential of tourism as a force for good. And that's why we also support and initiate partnerships and projects which create new opportunities and contribute to thriving communities all over the world. And this is exactly what these businesses, what these social innovation ideas are trying to accomplish. So I see it as something that is completely within our mission at the Trikar Foundation. And yeah, we're looking forward to connecting holidaymakers to these good causes. And without further ado, we're ready to announce the winner for the growth track, which is, drumroll. And go ahead, Maria, show the slide. And the winner is Wheel the World, with a special second place for Safari Wallet. And Wheel the World was really an incredible entry. We were so taken aback by this huge ambition of really this dream of making tourism accessible for every person with a disability. This is really something that we're very inspired by, the accessibility in tourism, which has an enormous potential for innovation and intervention from social innovation ideas. So thank you for that.
So Manuel, I just saw that Paola, the founder and the person here for your ancestral teacher is here, and also Alvaro. Let's give them hi, Paola. It's so great that you're outside in the Machu Picchu and you're talking to us. Hello, can you hear us?
Hello.
So you are the winner of the launch track, Paola.
Sorry, we both are the winners, right?
Yes, Alvaro, you are the winner of the
Awesome.
growth track. Congratulations. Paola,
thank you very much. Super excited. Thank you, Claudia.
And do you want to say some words, Alvaro? What does that mean now for you that you are the winner here? Is it changing something, or what are you going to do with, let's say, all the exposure that is waiting for you now?
I mean, it's amazing. It's super exciting. I'm very looking forward to get the most of that exposure, to attend ITB Berlin. I have never been, and I have always wanted to go to connect with other industry players and connect with people from the industry. So now it's super, and also because I saw the the pitch of everyone from my category, right? And there were like great projects, great presentations, great entrepreneurs. So it's also an honor that I'm super excited and grateful to be part of this and to win the award. So thank you very much to all the organization.
Alvaro, thank you very much. So let's stay in contact. Something that we are also trying to do is to keep up the community, because sometimes it is very good if you connect to each other, if one initiative can contribute to the other. And I think we have a great network here of social entrepreneurs that are addressing really important topics. And we want to show that also on events like ITB. And we are happy to have all this support from the, let's say, the TUI on tours in different kinds of the world, ITB. So hopefully we meet you. And we are planning a panel from together with Rika Jean-Francois, and maybe also Manuel is joining us from TUI Care Foundation. We will see. We will keep you informed on what's going on.
Absolutely happy to contribute to the community. We all have a same purpose, that is to make travel better and bigger and more sustainable. So happy my pleasure will be to contribute to the community, and thank you all for this recognition. It's huge for us.
Great, thank you. I see Paola here. Can you hear us, Paola? No. Okay, it's challenging to join us from outside and from a trip. So I think we are heading to the end. Manuel, thank you very much for being here with us and giving the prizes to everyone. I would like Kevin back again. Thanks.
Back after all that. Carry on, Claudia. I'm just here to roll in through the thank yous before we hear about the plan for 2023.
Okay, that's great. So you are doing the thank yous at the moment, and I'm going to have the outlook. Is that right?
That's it. That's it. So moving on, Manuel, thank you so much for joining us, of course.
Thank you for having us.
No, really, the energy on this call was amazing. So I wish you all the best, and hopefully see you again next year. It's been an amazing experience working with you just today. So I know it's been a long experience for all of our participants, and more to follow, I'm sure. Claudia, you're going to drop back in just a moment after I go through the process of thanking everybody that made this possible. This is not just a show. This is not just a video. This is not just an experience of any other pitching contest. This is made possible by a number of organizations, including your own. So I get to thank you, Claudia, for having the idea in the first place. This wouldn't have been possible without some sort of vision and energy behind it, but certainly for everybody in the sponsors, they get, of course, a clear shout out. From me, there is our team in India that have adopted our cause, Fire Goa. They'll be part of the awards package for our winners, as will Tejas. They will help our winners with an explainer video, as well as some additional mentorship. The UNWTO have been part of this organization for a long time, as has ITB and TUI Cares. We could not do this without you. As we could not have nurtured and shaped the pitches that we've seen today without the support of Sina. Behind us backstage, you'll have heard us mentioning Maria Stoyanova. She's our producer. She is the wizard behind all of the technology that makes all of this come together. We host this thanks to StreamYard, and Maria is the pilot at the helm there, making sure that we're going out properly live and recording adequately on all of the social platforms. So again, thank you, Maria, for all of your energy on this and for keeping me honest throughout the show. Operationally, of course, we wouldn't be anywhere without Lydia Band and the support of Lucas Freitag as well. Thank you so much for being there and being part of my life for the last few months as we brought all of this together. This has been an amazing experience for me, so thank you very much for having me. Claudia, I think there's an anniversary date coming up next year, and I'm looking forward to hearing about that. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about what you have in mind.
This is great. Thank you very much, Kevin, for talking about all the people behind who are making this possible. And I would like to thank you for this moderation again and again. You did a really good job. Thank you very much. And in 2023, we will have our 5th birthday. So we try to bring everyone together who is a supporter of the idea of social entrepreneurship in tourism, but also our last year's winners from the last years. We would bring them on stage. We are working on a bigger event for 2023. Don't miss our social media channels. Just be there, follow us to be informed what's going on. And last but not least, it is a great pleasure for us all to organize all this and to give a lot of energy into this, because we see in the end all the initiatives, and it's all the time overwhelming for me how many people from all over the world are contributing to this idea of social entrepreneurship and how we are transforming the tourism industry. So thank you very much for being here. If you enjoyed the presentation, please share with your friends, add a comment here, or press the like button. Follow us on social media and get updated, and hopefully we see us in 2023. Thank you very much for being here.